Do you have anything that you always say in sound check when you're sound checking mics?
No, I've never done that one before, actually. I usually do It's Not Unusual. I usually do It's Not Unusual.
Mr. Tom Jones action. Nice.
Just kind of wakes me up.
How are you both? It's been a while since I caught up with you.
We're all right, yeah. Slightly frazzled on the treadmill, but it's always good to be wanted.
It is, isn't it? Because you've got the complete singles coming out. I've just seen the actual sort of package of it and the artwork and everything. Yeah. That's a full-on lifetime's work on record, isn't it? It must be quite nice to look at and hold in your hands. Absolutely
gorgeous. I love the artwork. We went to Big Pit in South Wales. I had this vision of brass bands, Salvation Army, miners, and just sums us up, really. Bit of glamour, a bit of lipstick, and a bit of dirty work as well.
Who's the lady on the front?
It's just a girl.
It's just a girl.
Well, no, I met the photographer is really young, Eleanor. She's only 18, I think.
Really?
She's wildly talented. And I think it's Holly Fogg.
That's her name.
It's just one of her friends. So... and I could let my imagination run riot by saying you have to wear sashes and marching band uniforms. It's a brilliant day.
How did you get in touch with the photographer then? Because I know that on the last Grinder Man album, someone just wrote to Nick Cave and said, I'd love to do the artwork for you, and that's how it came about. How did that come about for you?
We were just looking at portfolios, and some of these photos with the model is sort of, she'd done something similar already, so it was just a perfect combination.
Perfect match.
Yes.
Lovely. So looking at track listing, it's in the chronological order, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It goes right the way through. I mean, there's not hundreds, that's a lie, isn't it?
It's 38.
Yeah, 38 tracks on there. What's your favourite? Have you got a favourite, either of you?
I kind of think it oscillates wildly, kind of thing.
To quote Morrissey.
But kind of... I think sometimes, you see a song like Design for Life and you think, well, that's a song that kind of brought us back from the brink. But then you see another song like Your Love Alone Is Not Enough and you think that's another song that brought us back from the brink. But I suppose kind of whenever the riff to Motown Junk kind of kicks in, it does transport me, back to being kind of, 20, 19 years old, and that's kind of a nice feeling for a 42-year-old.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Well, let's talk about that record then, so we'll play that as the first one. And what were you doing at that time when you wrote it? Can you remember what
Motown Junk? Yeah, we were just... Well, I'd gone to university, and James and Sean wrote it in their little bedroom in the living room in Sir Ivers Road, Portland Fife. It sounded really commercial right from the start in a funny kind of way. Our manager Martin spotted it really early.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing experience to record in London in the power plant. We signed to Heavenly Records.
It's in the same studio which Maggie May had been recorded in,
yeah.
So we were dead excited about that.
And it was a great sounding room, wasn't it? Powerful.
But we were all kind of still
I was all living
in our lives, yeah, exactly. You were still in uni.
Yeah, I was living with my mum and
dad. I was kind of working behind a bar and doing some busking. And kind of Sean was working for the DTI, I think, wasn't he?
The patent office, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of we were all strewn around the place, but we were all staying kind of in contact with letters and quick rehearsals when we all could get back in Blackwood kind of thing. So
Richey was in university with me, and we kind of rewrote the lyrics for Motown, which made him better when he joined. Lovely memories.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And did you have that excitement? Did it feel great when you heard it, when it was mixed and it was mastered? Were you just listening to it thinking, this is something good, something that we can really believe in?
I think we thought it was really special because we'd done a few things on our own, Suicide Alley and New Art Riot, and never quite captured this sort of Clash-esque rock sound that we were after. And it's just a perfect... You can feel the energy of us on Motown Junk. It is like, we've escaped. This is it, This is our one chance.
Yeah. And was it a live recording? Did you record it live then, put the vocals on top, or was it...
It was, yeah. Everything was live except for the vocal and the guitar solo. I think.
Because that's a good way to capture that energy, isn't it? Of all being together.
It was. And it was a really old-fashioned studio where kind of the galley, the control room was up above you. So it was just, the producer Robin Evans was looking down on us, and we were down there in the live room, and it felt like something out of like That'll Be the Day or Stardust in the 70s rock and roll film. So it was just so exciting for us, really.
Beautiful. And do you still play that live a lot?
Pretty much every gig, yeah. I think there was one tour in the mid-90s when we didn't play it. But yeah, and we must have played it thousands.
Yeah, it must be thousands of times, isn't it?
It's still as ragged and unhinged as ever, to be honest. It's never been a controlled sort of song.
Wonderful. Let's move down the track listing now. I'm just going to read out the song titles, and then one of you can say stop when you'd like to say something else about it.
Okay.
And then we'll play that one, okay? Cool. So we've got Stay Beautiful, Love Sweet Exile, You Love Us, Slash and Burn.
I think Slash and Burn is a towering riff, one of James's kind of Keith stroke Aerosmith. Not impersonation's not the right word, but I think it's one of Steve Brown, the producer, at the time was really pushing James to come up with a killer riff, and it really is. It's fantastic.
What's
Open
that
tuning was it? Was it one of the
It was
first?
D-time. It was detuned one semitone.
Oh,
But it was kind of, it was just cool because we were working with Steve Brown, and we just kind of had the notion that we could make a kind of rock record because he had just worked on the Love album by The Cult. So we just kind of, when he was actually in producer mode of saying, just locking one of us in a room and saying, finish that lyric or come up with a riff, we actually were very obedient because we kind of knew that he had done She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult. And Wham Rap. And Rat Trap by the Boomtown Rats. But we just kind of, we were good pupils, I think, weren't we?
I think we wanted to be directed.
Yeah.
We still get like that sometimes now. We're obviously fairly accomplished now, but it's sometimes it's really refreshing, whether it's a video, a photo session, a recording, or wherever. If someone comes up with a great idea, we're always really open to it.
Someone who's out of the bubble, who can actually understand what you're trying to achieve, but not be so involved in it emotionally that they can say something. What's the pressure like when someone says, create the best riff you can? It's just you in the room just like that going, is that good? Is it good? It is good.
Strangely, I think we were so kind of ambitious when we were young, and I just kind of we kind of thought we were going to make it, not through arrogance but through stupidity. I think we were just ignorant.
You're
of
not
the
like
challenge.
Viva Brother then. We're the best band in the world.
I think we were ignorant of the challenge that was in front of us. So kind of when kind of like something like Steve Brown would just say, I'm locking in the studio for a half hour, you've got to come up with a riff for Motorcycle Emptiness. I'd be like, I was a bit scared but kind of confident that I could do it because he had confidence in me and I just thought I could. Kind of
It's
thing.
like I'm a musician, get me out of here, isn't it?
But you do get to a certain age and you look back at those moments and you think, where the hell did I get that confidence from? It wasn't confidence, it was just stupidity.
And what constitutes a great riff?
I think you've got to be able to sing it, I suppose. That's not universally true, but that's kind of the crux of it. I think, really good riffs you can kind of sing, whether it be Sweet Child of Mine, whether it be Smoke on the Water, Help Me Out Your Way, any other riffs. Genie, down, oh, it's Rebel. But
you always do Rebel in sound check as well, don't you?
So I think you can actually verbally sing a guitar riff if it's kind of ready to be a universal.
Can you sing Slash and Burn riff?
There you go.
And there it is. Wonderful. Let's continue down the list then. Motorcycle Emptiness. Whenever we play that on air, it gets a huge reaction, that one.
Yeah.
Suicide is Painless. Little Baby Nothing. Remember to stop me when you want to talk about it more. From Despair to Where. La Tristesse Durera.
I think La Tristessa was a bit of a landmark single for us, really, because it just had some kind of funk. The Dust Brothers, who before they became the Chemical Brothers, started playing this, and at the club that James used to go to, the Social, which became a legendary kind of club, and that led them to doing remixes for us of La Tristessa and Faster and Everything Must Go, and it was the second single off the album, and it really, the album was kind of dying, but it really reinvigorated the record and went back up the charts and stuff. And I don't know, it's an amazing guitar solo. One of my favourite JDB.
When the review said it was the last great baggy single, I think it's one of the only records we've actually made where you can kind of shuffle around to it a bit. You can nearly dance to it, kind of.
And it's a great Freddie kind of vocal. It is high.
That's one of my Freddie moments. Yes.
How things have changed though, because when everyone used to sit around listening to the radio for the charts, I mean, it was hugely exciting now, and now it's all to do with downloads and stuff. So do you remember did you used to come to sort of congregate together on a Sunday to find out where you charted?
Oh, I was absolutely obsessed with that kind of stuff.
Did you used to record it?
From the midweeks downward as well. When we became in a band ourselves, I would be pestering everyone, and getting updates. And I remember when Stay Beautiful went from number 44 to number 40 and became our first top 40 hit.
Nice.
I was absolutely
jubilation. Yeah, I bet.
And it was, it does seem really old-fashioned now. We're totally aware of that, but is a lovely thing to be part of.
Yeah, definitely. So what year was that, La Tristesse? Was that 93?
Three.
It must have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were steamrolling ahead, actually. Generation Terrace came out in 92?
I always thought it was late 91, but I get confused.
Well, it's February, so I would imagine it's 92.
Okay.
And then this was out in 93, and then Holy Bible was 94.
Yeah, it was.
So just churning them out, weren't you, at that point? So was that a point of the band where it all felt very fluid and it was just a really natural progression? It just seemed really sort of organic, I guess would be the right word.
I think it did with the Holy Bible. I think with Goal Against the Soul, we realised we'd probably pushed the limits of alienated stadium, not stadium rock,
No.
but stadium something.
Yeah.
We
Big
realised
choruses
we'd left some of our roots behind in terms of just some of our slightly, punk and kind of new wave influences. We'd left them completely behind for that record, and and perhaps we'd lost part of our audience straight away, and it was what you would call a classically awkward second album, Call Against the Soul.
And when we had spent so much of the record company's money at this point that when they said, we're going to record the Holy Bible in Cardiff in a 50 quid a day studio, they were brilliant. That's a good idea. They were very supportive.
Well done, gents. Let's do that. So how do you know that that you feel that you've lost your roots with that moment then? Was it just the sort of the audience's reaction, or was it a moment that you all just sat down over a pint and went,
it slowly dawns on you, I
Yeah.
think. It's not you don't have this eureka moment. It just, at one point you sit down and listen to a record, or something comes on the radio, or somebody says something, and you go, I think we messed up a bit. And it's not to say that everything was disaster on that record. It was just that we had just gone too far in one direction.
And I think there's lots of layers to us as music fans. We do absolutely love Guns N' Roses, but we do absolutely love Pill and Magazine and Wire and post-punk stuff and the Skids. And we do love really obscure indie stuff like Be Happening. We're just such music fans and obsessives that sometimes those influences come out at different phases of the career.
Of course. Wonderful. Let's continue. Roses in the Hospital. This is the album version, isn't it, that's on this collection, I've been told.
Oh, so it's got the swearing in.
Yes.
Lovely.
So that's what has been flagged up, like, don't play that one.
That's a good call.
Life Becoming a Landslide, Faster, Revol.
I think Faster, really. It's probably one of our finest pieces. Artistically, I think it's a truly original, probably our one truly original piece of music and lyrics. It's an amazing lyric by Richey, which I added some stuff to. I don't know if it's a tune. That's a tune you can't. That's a riff you can't sing.
You can.
Why do you say truly original? What do you mean by that?
I just don't think anyone's ever sounded like it, and I don't think it sounds really like anyone else. It's very vicious. I don't know what James really had in his head, because when he played that riff initially, it was very kind of atonal. I was trying to think, what are you trying to get out of this? And the verse is like a rap, really.
It's a straight line of a song. There's not much, there's not much let up in it, and I think it was just impossible not to read, those lyrics at that point and not feel as if that, the stakes had been raised, that you were kind of slightly scared for the future of everything, including yourself, and so the song just has like a serrated edge to it. Going from Despair to Way to Faster is quite a leap, really. And it just feels as if the song is just full of some kind of malcontent. It's just something wrong in there. But
attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that to perform live then?
Hard.
Yeah. I think anything of people, even fans, don't quite get that the Holy Bible is such a state of mind. You can't really go on stage and any track off it and just sort of toss it off as something as entertainment. You have to really feel it, and therefore physically it's hard, and mentally you're just thinking, I don't quite feel as dark as this I should do playing this song. And I find it difficult on many levels, really, that you have to feel that. When we toured that record, we kind of all felt the same hatred of the human race.
Did you come back off that tour exhausted?
Yes. I mean, we did a lot of shows, and we finished in the Astoria not only exhausted but virtually bankrupt because we smashed 20 grand's worth of gear up. It was something in that we never played together again as a four-piece together again live on stage, and it was a glorious night, that last night at the Astoria, in terms of trashing it. It was beyond cathartic. It was just pure
Yeah.
hellish joy.
Good moment of completion.
It was.
Beautiful. Continuing, She Is Suffering, A Design for Life, Everything Must Go, Kevin Carter, Australia.
I think Kevin Carter deserves a mention, really, because...
Are you agreeing with all that?
Well, you're just not saying anything. You're not picking any out. So.
No, I'm kind of cool. I mean, I would go with Kevin Carter because, again, we had never made a record that sounded like this. It's got a strange bossa nova backbeat to it. You know, it's the first. I think it's probably the first time we'd ever released a single with Sean's trumpet on, even though he'd played on Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And it's a song that kind of that's trying to relate to the audience, the experience of a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer who committed suicide. We're still still trying to play the game by our own rules. But this song all just seemed to come together because of Sean's trumpet solo, and also the video was great. John Hillcoat that went on to kind of direct
The Road.
Yeah, it was
it was The Road, wasn't it?
I think he ended up doing The Road.
Yeah, he did The Road.
Yeah.
That's right.
Proposition.
And the
Did
Proposition.
the Proposition and Ghost of Silver Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Such
kind
a
of-
talent.
Yeah.
everything just seemed to come together for that song. But again, it was also there's a touch of the Sweeney theme tune in there as well. It's a strange little beast of a song, but kind of one that I think we're proud of.
I think that's the joy of looking back, is that you have these beautiful moments of sedition, even right from the start with Love Sweet Exile. You have these lines like we blur him into images of state coercion. You get to Kevin Carter and you're telling a story which is, tragic and unnerving. You get to If You Tolerate This, and you got a #1 song about the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah.
I think we're really proud of just, in a world when we were competing with Steps and Take That, we were always trying to just offer something different.
Thank God you were there, to be honest. And it's one of those songs that I've heard a lot of bands cover. Have you ever gone through YouTube and watched bands sort of versions?
Oh, Kevin
of,
Carter or Tolerate?
Yeah,
Oh,
Kevin
no, I
Carter.
haven't actually.
No.
I've heard quite a few cover it
All right.
badly, unfortunately. Have you ever done that? Gone through and seen and sort of watched other bands cover your tracks? Because it must be quite.
I'm sure it is, Nick. I've
funny.
never
Done a couple.
Yeah, I've never switched a computer on, so I don't do that kind of
Oh
thing.
no, you don't, do you?
It's
I
not a
remember.
badge. I'm not proud of it. It's just the way I am. But
I did
kind of-
play Jim's this amazing kind of J-pop techno version of Little Baby Nothing, which is just staggering. It's actually good. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, that's the right way, isn't it?
There was
Staggering.
There was a high energy version
Tolerate.
of Tolerate. If you tolerate
With a
this
really
as well.
bizarre video of just women in bikinis. It's
I
a
never
song
saw
about
the
Spanish
video.
Civil War.
They've missed the point. Oh, God. Well, thank you so much for popping in. It's going to be nice to play some of those tracks on the radio because obviously you normally get playlisted with the other ones. So it'd be really nice.
Oh, lovely.
Opportunity to play those, and it comes with disc 2 as well.
Yeah.
So we'll link through. We've got some signed albums to give away as well. So I guess it's touring this, isn't it, at the moment? Going around all the radio stations, interviews galore.
Yes.
Joyous.
You just about got the truth out of us today. I'm going to start telling lies after this.
Well, I thought actually if I was ever interviewed, I think it probably would be more entertaining to tell
Yeah,
lies.
you've got to slip the odd one in, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally. And just go, what do you mean? I didn't release that. You shouldn't have. That wasn't me. But thank you very much. Look forward to what's coming next.
Pleasure.
That's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.